The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Outgoing Vice President Leni Robredo led the second inaugural ceremonies of Naga City Mayor Nelson Legacion in the 14th Sangguniang Panglungsod at the Plaza Quezon in Naga City on Saturday. In her speech, the Vice President commended local officials for pushing for good governance in the city. Robredo also urged Naga officials to help preserve the integrity of their residents and to fight efforts seeking to undermine the pillars of good governance. The LTFRB says jeepney drivers who opt not to go on trips due to high oil prices may be penalized. Mon Gualvez tells us why.
Amid the incessant oil price hikes, some jeepney drivers reportedly stopped going on trips altogether. One of them is Jerry.
Grahe din ako kapag medyo matumal kasi talo tayo sa diesel eh. Sobrang mahal, isang ikot 500 tap kung Quezon City. Walang mangyayari, papagod lang, maabuno ka pa sa diesel.
However, based on LTFRB Memorandum Circular number 2004-34, not going on trips constitutes abandonment of service, where the penalty is cancellation of their certificate of public convenience and franchise.
If all things are normal po, ang ganyan po na ayaw po na pumasada, may kaakibat po yan na penalty po supposedly. Pwede nga din po yan na mag-constitute as abandonment of route.
But because of the situation now, where a liter of fuel products is now almost 100 pesos, LTFRB will be giving considerations.
For humanitarian consideration, naiintindihan din po talaga ng LTFRB yung ibang mga walang kakayanan na po talaga, lalo na yung mga individual po na operators no, na nahihirapan na po talagang mamasada. Naiintindihan po namin yung sitwasyon nyo ngayon, pero at least man lang during the peak hours po, sana magtulungan po tayo.
The agency adds they're also doing everything to expedite the release of the second tranche of the fuel subsidy for drivers. They are expecting to be able to distribute this in the first week of July.
Meron kasing 5 billion na unprogrammed funds ngayon, sir. So, mag-a-apply po ang LTFRB through sa DOTR ng 5 billion po. At kung papala rin ay makukuha natin yung kabuuang 5 billion. Kung hindi po, yung 2.5 billion po yung magiging makukuha po natin. So, it will be either 6.5 or madodoble po.
But for now, drivers are pushing for a fare hike as they can no longer work with just the 1 peso provisional minimum fare increase. LTFRB promised that before the current term ends, they'll issue a decision on the fare increase petition filed in their office. The hearing is set on June 28. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
The Health Department urges the public to get their booster dose in light of another uptick in the country's COVID-19 cases. JC Cosico has the report.
The average daily COVID-19 cases nationwide is now at 350, an at least 50% jump from the previous week. The Health Department attributed this increase to a number of factors. These include the entry of Omicron subvariants in the country, increased mobility, and waning immunity of vaccinated individuals. If the uptrend continues, DOH projects up to 1,200 daily cases by end June.
Kailangan nga natin i-prevent na mangyari yan because these projections naman are not cast in stone. Gusto lang ho natin makapag-prepare ng ating mga ospital, ng ating local governments so that we can prevent further transmission.
Health spokesperson Maria Rosario Vergere, however, clarified that the uptake is still not significant as hospitalization rate remains low. But in some areas of Metro Manila, Caraga Region and Calabarzon, healthcare utilization rates are increasing. In NCR alone, average daily infections rose from 102 last week to 170. With this, the DOH once again renewed its call to the public to get jabbed and boosted. According to Vergere, second booster uptakes have remained low since April.
Pag tinignan po natin ito, ikukumpara natin dun sa eligible na pwedeng makatanggap nito, medyo mababa pa po ito. We are trying to double our efforts para po especially our vulnerable itong mga populasyon na to, mabigyan po natin itong pangalawang booster shots.
Meanwhile, the booster rollout for children aged 12 to 17 is expected to start next week once the guidelines are released. The Health Technology Assessment Council has previously submitted its recommendations.
Once the the Department of Health, through the Secretary of Health, approves the recommendations of the Health Technology Assessment Council, the DOH would now draft the guidelines on how we are going to implement these booster doses for 12 to 17 years old. So ito po ang ating parang inaantay, no, na key factor.
For News 5, JC Cosico, we are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after a quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Philip Elahuico has stepped down as the president of the Philippine Athletics Track and Field Association, or PATAFA. Huico resigned from his post during a PATAFA board meeting on Saturday, and Huico cited wanting to focus on his family and personal and business ventures as the reasons for leaving his post. He remains as chairman emeritus of PATAFA's board, while former PATAFA VP Agapito Capistrano was tapped to take over Huico's term until November 2024. Skateboarders from various parts of the country gathered for the Go Skateboarding Day in Manila. JC Cosico has the report.
These skateboarders showed their tricks as they gathered at the Liwasang Bonifacio in Manila to celebrate Go Skateboarding Day. The skateboarders came from around the metro and surrounding provinces. One of them is Kevin Almazan, a person with disability. He says he has been skateboarding for over 2 years. For him, his disability is not a hindrance to enjoy the sport he loves.
Madali naman po siya kung pagkasikapan at kung buo yung loob mo na mahilig sa sport.
Meanwhile, Amor Reyes looks up to Olympian skateboarder Marjeline Didal. She says the sport is challenging for women like her, but she'll never give up.
Mahirap po maghanap ng kasama kasi po puro mga datihan na po, tapos puro lalaki. Masyado pong mahirap para sa akin yung tricks, lalo na po ganito po yung katawan ko, tapos mas ina-underestimate po yung mga babae in terms of paggawa po ng mga tricks.
Go Skateboarding Day organizer One Manila Organization says they want skateboarding to be recognized as a sport in the Philippines.
Ang history niyan kasi, ang skateboarding kasi dati, hindi siya accepted, no? So, hindi nga rin siya sports noon, but now it is recognized na. Pati sa Asian Games, sa Olympics. So, yun talaga yung linalaban ng grupo namin before, na to make it available yung mga facilities. So, hindi lang dito sa Manila, but all over the Philippines sana.
They add that the sport prevents the youth from engaging in harmful vices.
Alam naman natin na ang skateboarding is a safe sports. So ito ay nakakatulong sa ating kalusugan at maiwasan ng mga kabataan sa maling gawain kagaya ng gumamit ng droga, kumbaga mawala sa patinong pag-iisip. Ito may mas magandang opportunity sa skateboarding po na pabigay natin na hindi siya delikado at masaya po siyang sports. Na kahit sino po pwede po mag-skateboard.
But for the naysayers, the organization has this to say.
This one kasi, it's an individual sport. No? Sa lahat naman po ng sport, medyo may konting medyo delikado rin. Pero in time, sa practice lang, nakukuha nila na kung paano yung tamang talon, tamang gulong. So, para nakakaiwas sila sa disgrasya.
In the city of Manila, there are 2 skateboarding parks for enthusiasts.
Basta trasher ka, pwede ka sumali dito, di ba? Ito, parang, siyempre, ang nanguna, tiga Maynila. Pero sa ganitong samahan, isang sulo ka ng mundo ay ng Pilipinas. Pwede kang, basta nandito ka sa Maynila noong time na to.
That's why the organization hopes other LGUs will follow suit.
Ang purpose namin po nun is sana ma-inspire yung ibang city na gawan din ng park o place na masisilungan yung mga enthusiasts sa ganitong klaseng sports.
For News 5, JC Cosico, we are One News.
Time now for a quick look at today's other top stories. The Philippines inaugurates its 15th vice president today. The Health Department urges Filipinos to complete their booster shots as the agency reports another uptick in COVID-19 cases. And in sports, the NU Lady Bulldogs showed no mercy as they took Game 1 of the women's volleyball finals in 3 straight sets. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories, starting with our continuing coverage of the inauguration of Vice President-elect Sara Duterte Carpio. Let's watch this.
Sara Zimmerman Duterte as the duly
This Sunday, June 19, Sara Duterte takes her oath of office as the 15th Vice President of the Republic. Tutukan ng aming live coverage ng mga pangyayari sa Davao City. Ang panunumpa alas 4 ng hapon sa June 19. Watch us on One News and One PH. All sides, all the time.
You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.